Hello, hello. Welcome to Reading Time. My name's Time, and this week we're reading James and the Giant Peach by Roald Dahl. Let's get to reading. James and the Giant Peach is a children's novel about a boy named James who goes on an adventure in a giant peach with a group of anthropomorphic bugs and his adventures with them. James begins his journey in England and ends his journey in New York City, encountering many difficulties along the way and proving how wise and skillful he is. I'm going to give this book 4 stars. This book is definitely unbelievable. The events therein are not ones that make any logical sense. However, the book sets itself up in that way by saying truly remarkable things will happen therein. And as such, I don't think I was bothered as much by the oddness of the events in this tale as I have been in other books. And while I wasn't as bothered with the logic of the book as I have been with some other books, I still had a little bit of trouble with some of the solutions that James came up with, such as suspending the giant peach by 502 seagulls and spider thread. It's not quite a 5-star book in my opinion. I think at times the songs that he has the centipede do or the other characters get a little bit tiresome. There definitely is content to be aware of for this book. The first piece of content that I would like to go over is that of abuse. I have mentioned this in other videos on the channel. I will be putting links in the description of the video if you or someone you love is experiencing abuse. It is definitely a difficult subject and is not one that anyone should have to experience. In this book, James is adopted by and then abused by his 2 aunts. This abuse is both physical and emotional. Other violence that occurs in this book is more fantasy-esque, such as the group of characters fighting cloud men at some point in the book, and his parents being eaten by a rhino at the beginning, and his 2 aunts being crushed to death by the giant peach. For language for this book, there are 2 mild instances of language. And the last piece of content that I would go over is the fact that James is taken into this whole adventure because he is given these mysterious magic crystals by a strange old man. And while these magical crystals did end up solving a lot of his problems and giving him an interesting, happy life, typically I don't think that it's a good idea to suggest to children that it is a good idea to take mysterious things from strangers. Now, with all of that content in mind, I would put this at a 4th through 6th grade reading level. This story would be well suited to this age range as they would be able to appreciate the story and discuss some of the topics that may be a little bit heavier. They also would be less likely to get confused by the concept of cloud men when it comes to understanding the weather than maybe their younger counterparts. And speaking of cloud men, this book could be used in conjunction with lessons on the weather and the water cycle. It could also be used in conjunction with teaching about bugs. Another interesting thing that might be interesting to pair with it would be to do some peach math, where you figure out exactly how much the peach would weigh if it was the size of a small house, along with other examples of math based off of that as well, such as how long could people eat the peach, or how many people could the peach feed, as well as how many seagulls would it actually take to lift the peach. That definitely does kind of feel along the lines of what is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow, but it might be fun and interesting to try and do the math on. Another idea that could be discussed is the theme of not judging a person based on what's on the outside, or in other words, not judging a book by its cover. Since all of James's friends in the book are bugs, there definitely is an initial gut reaction to be bothered by the bugs. However, each bug shows how it is useful in different ways. And even the centipede, who is supposed to be the pest of the group, has characteristics that makes him endearing and likable. Now for this week's poster, our poster square is at the very bottom here next to each peach, pear, and plum. We have a peach speared on the top of the Empire State Building, which, spoilers, is how the book ends. Let me know what you think of James and the Giant Peach in the comments below. Is it one that you have read? Is it one that you have enjoyed? Let me know if you have any book recommendations. And as always, have a marvelous week and a wonderful read.